get ready with me as I tell you how this girl has essentially predicted my life the past like 4 years through astrology. Okay, so her name is Julie, and before I ever went on The Bachelor, I went to an event and she immediately guessed. She was like, "Is your dad a lawyer?" Yes. She asked me if I was a lawyer. I said yes, and then she was like, "Did you or your mom have a hard upbringing?" And I was like, my mom's from the middle of Greece, like didn't come from anything. She started asking me more specific questions like, "Are you in media?" And that one I answered no. And she was like, "Oh, well, I think you have like the opportunity to be in media according to your chart." I actually told her that The Bachelor reached out to me and I like wasn't really considering doing it, but I was gonna go through the process and like see if I felt comfortable with it. Or she immediately told me, she's like, "If you do choose to do it, I feel like you won't win, but you'll go far." And for the Bachelor fans out there, that's exactly what happened. She called me after filming and she was like, "I think that you are either going to get back with the guy or you are going to be the next Bachelorette." I was very confused by this because I did not predict or see that anywhere in my future. Well, lo and behold, I ended up getting back with Peter. She would just tell me random like facts. She was like, "Have you ever dated a foreigner?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would say the majority of my exes were foreigners." And she was like, "Yeah, you have something in your chart that essentially says like you could be with a foreigner or someone who kind of has fame behind their name." The myth was that like back in India, like astrologers were praised. They were like looked at as kings and queens. And that's where Vedic astrology comes from, which is very different from Western, what the US uses. So she told me that in Western astrology, I think it came from the UK or something, she said that they would make them burn the books because they looked at them as like witches and witchcraft. But in India, it was like very different because they were glorified. So they were like treated like king and queens and they wanted them to keep all of their materials. So supposedly Vedic is way more in depth, way more accurate. So if you are into astrology, look into Vedic astrology. In my opinion, it is so much more descriptive and just better in general. Julie and I are going to try to pair couples together according to their birth charts. And I'll put the survey in the comments, and I'm also going to put it up on Instagram next week, and we're going to try to pair people according to Vedic astrology. And then also I'll put her contact if you want your own reading by her.